you just had the sense that the story, as big as it was going to get even bigger.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the 10 most notorious crimes of the 90s.
Pac was almost like mentoring Big in the beginning.
For this list, we're looking at the most publicized and high-profile crimes from 1990 to 1999. What infamous crimes do you remember most from the 90s? Tell us in the comments. Number 10. The Murder of JonBenét Ramsey. On December 26, 1996, 6-year-old JonBenét Ramsey went missing from her home in Boulder, Colorado. Her parents, John and Patsy, allegedly found a ransom note demanding a suspiciously specific amount of money.
The note demands $118,000 and threatens the immediate execution of their daughter.
Just hours after she was reported missing, John found his daughter's lifeless body in the basement. Her death was ruled a homicide.
And lo and behold, when John Ramsey finds the body, you now have John Ramsey at the crime scene.
Documentaries and TV programs still revisit the case, analyzing the evidence, going over statements, and uncovering secrets surrounding the family members. The mystery of the little girl's death will always captivate the nation. Despite many ongoing theories and suspects, her horrific murder remains unsolved to this day.
Will whoever killed JonBenét Ramsey get away with murder?
Number 9. The Centennial Olympic Park bombing. In 1996, Atlanta, Georgia hosted the Summer Olympics. Security guard Richard Jewell discovered what appeared to be a pipe bomb under a bench in the park. He immediately called the police and helped lead people to safety before the blast. The bombing resulted in 1 death and 100 injuries.
He was hailed a hero.
And I just hope that we catch the people that did it.
Jewell was labeled a hero, but then quickly became the FBI's main suspect. For almost 3 months, the FBI investigation and the media attention ruined his life.
Some of the coverage, while acknowledging that Jewell was only under investigation, still cast him in the worst possible light.
His name was eventually cleared, but the real bomber, Eric Rudolph, wasn't caught until 2013. Jewell was the subject of a Clint Eastwood film, as well as Season 2 of Discovery Channel's anthology series, Manhunt.
Until the day I die, there will be people who believe that I'm a murderer.
Number 8. The murders of Tupac and Biggie Smalls. In the late 90s, 2 of hip-hop's most influential artists were killed within 6 months of each other.
Backseat of the Cadillac, unrolled the window, arm came out, opened fire, and just went rat-a-tat-tat. There were 13 shots fired.
On September 7, 1996, Tupac Shakur was gunned down, dying 6 days later. Then, on March 9, 1997, Biggie Smalls, also known as the Notorious B.I.G., a suspect in Tupac's murder, was shot and killed.
911 emergency, what are you reporting? We're on Fairfax and Wilshire. What's wrong? We're man shot in our car right now.
The two started off as friends, but quickly became enemies in the East Coast-West Coast War. Suspects range from former Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight to corrupt officers in the LAPD. New theories still arise today from lifelong fans hoping to solve the murders of 2 young rappers at the height of their careers.
You don't know who's with who, how it's gonna go down.
Number 7. The World Trade Center bombing. 8 years before the September 11th attacks, the World Trade Center was hit with a bomb. On the afternoon of February 26, 1993, a bomb went off inside a rental van, killing 6 people and injuring over 1,000. The van was located in the underground parking garage.
At 12:18 p.m., World Trade Center Tower number 1 became a tower of smoke.
Shockingly, one of the men who planted the bomb actually went to the rental agency to get his security deposit back. Not so shockingly, he was brought in by the FBI. Mohammed Salama and his 3 accomplices were arrested and later convicted.
Yesterday, federal agents raided Salama's apartment, where they found the evidence that led to his arrest.
The granite memorial fountain built to honor the victims was destroyed in 2001, but the names of the victims are included in the North Pool of the 9/11 Memorial.
93 bombing was the powder keg. It was the start of America being vulnerable.
Number 6. The murder of Celina Quintanilla-Pérez. Celina Quintanilla-Pérez was just 23 years old when she was killed by her fan club president and friend Yolanda Saldívar on March 31, 1995.
Celina has been shot dead at a Corpus Christi motel.
Yolanda was caught embezzling the singer's money, and Selena confronted her at a motel to collect tax papers. Rather than face the consequences of her crimes, Yolanda fatally shot her supposedly best friend.
It's not like we thought that this person was possible of the act that she committed.
Given Selena's bright and bubbly presence that touched so many, her sudden death is still a shocking reality. It's impossible to listen to Dreaming of You and not cry thinking of the heartbreaking ending of the 1997 film. Love for the iconic singer was revitalized with Netflix's Selena the series. Number 5. The Crimes of Jeffrey Dahmer. He's sometimes called the Milwaukee Cannibal or the Milwaukee Monster, but everyone knows the name Dahmer. From 1978 to 1991, he killed 17 young men, doing unspeakable things to their remains. We'll spare you the gruesome details.
Jeffrey Dahmer was responsible for killing more than a dozen people.
The killer was finally caught on July 22, 1991, after an intended victim escaped and flagged down police. A lot of media attention has focused on his upbringing, attempting to explain why anyone would commit such horrific crimes.
Milwaukee newspaper is reporting the man has confessed to killing at least 11 people.
What makes him enduringly fascinating is just how normal he looks. Ryan Murphy's upcoming Netflix original series starring Evan Peters will be based on Dahmer's life, but told through the eyes of his victims.
This has never been a case of trying to get free. I didn't ever want freedom.
Number 4. The Waco Siege. Beginning February 28, 1993, the FBI led a siege against David Koresh, leader of the Branch Davidians and his cult followers. Suspecting that the group was stockpiling illegal weapons, ATF agents had arrived at Mount Carmel Center outside Waco, Texas, to serve a warrant. Instead, a deadly gunfight ensued, resulting in the deaths of 4 agents and 6 Branch Davidians.
Even when the agents all left, we felt that they would be back that night and kill us.
The siege continued for 51 days, finally ending April 19th, when the FBI flooded the building with tear gas, attempting to force everyone out.
This is not an assault. We are not entering the building.
A fire, allegedly started by one of the cult members, consumed the building, and by the end, 76 Branch Davidians, including 25 children and 2 pregnant women, were dead.
Huge numbers of Americans watched this play out on their television sets, and the ending was incredibly horrifying.
Number 3. The Oklahoma City bombing. 2 years to the day after the Waco siege, a bomb went off under the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City.
A massive car bomb exploded outside of a large federal building in downtown Oklahoma City, shattering that building.
The bombing killed at least 168 people, including 19 children, wounding over 680 others. The 9-story building contained offices of 14 federal agencies. Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols, 2 soldiers turned anti-government extremists, targeted this location because it housed the DEA and ATF, 2 of the 3 agencies they sought to attack. McVeigh was sentenced to death for this act of domestic terrorism, one of the worst in U.S. history.
It was an act of cowardice, and it was evil.
Number 2. The Columbine High School Massacre. When you say Columbine, everyone knows what you're referring to.
Columbine High in Littleton, Colorado, it has been a horror.
Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado became front-page news on April 20th, 1999, after 2 heavily armed students killed 12 students, 1 teacher and themselves, and wounded over 20 others.
Just Sheriff's Office, do you have an emergency? Yes, I am a teacher at Columbine High School. There is a student here with a gun.
This wasn't the first school shooting in the U.S. There had been a string of others around the country. But at the time, it was the deadliest school shooting in U.S. history. This infamous attack forever changed how security and safety protocols are handled in schools. Victims of the shooting suffer lasting trauma, some continuing to speak about their experience in the hopes of preventing more tragedies.
It's good that school shootings are still shocking because it shows that they're really rare.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. On June 13, 1994, the bodies of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were found in front of her Brentwood home, having been stabbed to death the night before.
She was absolutely terrified for her life.
Nicole's ex-husband, former football star O.J. Simpson, became the #1 suspect. The trial, dubbed the trial of the century, began 7 months after the murders on January 24, 1995, and would last 134 days, with the shocking verdict being announced on October 3rd.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187.
In the media, it's often forgotten that it isn't all about Simpson. The families of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman lost their loved ones. The infamous Bronco chase, trying on the gloves, the theatrics in and out of court, all distract from the reality of the case. 2 people were brutally killed.
A mostly white jury found Simpson liable, ordering him to pay $33.5 million to the families of the murder victims in 1997.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.